Good evening and welcome to Ville News. I'm your host, Georgia Hall, along with Ruby Mundock, here to give you the latest campus, local, and national headlines. Stay tuned because Ville News starts now.
A Lancaster County man has been charged after attacking patrons, staff, and police at a Millersville concert venue on Sunday night. 34-year-old Cody Kuntz attempted to fight other customers and break the barricades at the popular university venue Phantom Power, leading him to be escorted out of the venue. While bouncers were escorting him out of the bar, Kuntz began to throw punches and bite the security guard, drawing blood. Kuntz then attempted to gouge the eyes of a second security guard. When police arrived on the scene, Kuntz was trying to bite the legs of one of the bouncers before resisting arrest and spitting at one of the officers. The man was charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault, 3 counts of simple assault, and 1 count each of defiant trespass, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, and public drunkenness. His bail was set at $100,000, but he remains confined to Lancaster County Prison after failing to post that amount. Court records show that this wasn't Kuntz's first arrest, as he pleaded guilty to simple assault in 2015 and was sentenced to 6 to 12 months in prison.
The Lancaster County District Attorney's Office has announced an investigation into an officer-involved shooting on Tuesday morning. At the time, 38-year-old Zachary Gilball was being served multiple warrants for numerous charges, including simple assault, burglary, terroristic threats, and other charges. He was arrested on the 1400 block of Union Grove Road in East Earl Township after throwing cement blocks at the officer's head as they attempted to take him into police custody. The male subject was then tased, followed by the subject threatening the police with a blowtorch. As the officers retreated, Gilball fled the scene in a car and drove down towards one of the officers. Multiple shots were fired, striking the man. Aid was rendered at the scene and the suspect was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. Zachary Gilball's condition is currently unknown, and the Pennsylvania State Police are also assisting with the investigation. When we get back, Ville News will be giving you the latest news and weather updates. Ryan, what can we expect from the weather?
In Georgia, we're looking at a pretty a roller coaster of temperatures coming up here in the next few days. You can see right now, baby blue skies over Lancaster City right now, and just a little bit ago, we saw that sun just setting over the horizon. I have the full forecast coming up here in just a bit, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Ville News. Georgia, I don't know about you, but this weather has me so confused.
No, because same.
It's cold one day and warm the next.
I love the warm, but it's really heartbreaking then when the next day it goes back to cold. I can't do that. I can't take that.
I understand.
We will now go to Ryan with the local weather.
Yeah, Georgia, it's been a pretty wild roller coaster of temperatures these last few days, and we're going to be seeing that some more as we head into the later parts of this week, going between the 50s down to the 20s and then back up to the 50s. I'm not a big fan myself of this roller coaster weather. I think I'm ready for spring coming up here, but let's get into the 3-day forecast here. Right here, we see 50 degrees for Wednesday's highs, which was today. We're looking at 32 degrees for tonight's lows. We are looking at some showers coming in tonight. Thursday, we're looking at 48 degrees, 24 degrees for Thursday night's lows. We're looking at some clouds and sun for Thursday. 52 degrees for a high Friday, 38 for Friday night's lows. And checking out our 7-day outlook, we see the same conditions for the last 3 days, but Saturday, we see 54 degrees, 24 for Saturday night's lows. Sunday, 28 degrees, 16 for Saturday night's lows. And we're looking at 20s across the board for the next few days, or for the next days coming up here in the early parts of next week. I have the full forecast coming up here in just a bit. Back to you at the desk.
Eastern Europe is in fear as the threat of Russia invading Ukraine grows stronger each day. Ukraine is looking to join NATO, a defensive alliance of over 30 other countries, and Russia is resisting this move. Over the past few weeks, Russia has sent 100,000 troops to Ukraine's borders, yet they deny that they are planning to invade. Russia demands no more eastward expansion by NATO and no more NATO military activity in Eastern Europe. In a statement on Monday, Russia's President Vladimir Putin accused the United States of trying to draw Russia into a war in Ukraine, as well as ignoring Russia's concerns on NATO forces. Putin stated, quote, "It seems to me that the United States is not so much concerned about the security of Ukraine, but its main task is to contain Russia's development. In this sense, Ukraine itself is just a tool to reach this goal," end quote. England's Prime Minister Boris Johnson visited Ukraine on Tuesday with the goal of showing his support towards the country. He gave Ukraine 88 million euros in aid, as well as made it clear to Russia that England is standing behind Ukraine. For now, NATO is continuing to debate what actions should be taken, and the rest of the world is waiting to see how Russia decides to act next.
Last Friday morning, Fern Hollow Bridge in Pittsburgh collapsed just before rush hour. 10 people were injured, 4 of which were rushed to the hospital following the accident. Wendy Stowe, a Pittsburgh resident who lives near the bridge, stated, quote, "It sounded like a huge snowplow pushing along the surface with no snow. I didn't know what it was. It was very frightening," end quote. Joe Biden was en route to Pittsburgh to discuss his $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan when the bridge collapsed. He visited the site of the crash and spoke with Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman before heading to Mill 19 for his scheduled speech. Monday evening, January 31st, a Port Authority bus that was damaged in the accident was lifted out of the ravine with a large crane. Hazmat teams evaluated the scene prior to the lift to make sure the 125 gallons of the gas were out of the bus. Katie Reed, a Pittsburgh resident, was at the park when the crane lift took place. She stated, quote, "We were all saying it's amazing to see the work they are doing out here, and it's great nobody really got hurt, so we can kind of enjoy the process and feel really proud of everyone for how hard they worked," end quote. Officials said it could take a year minimum to rebuild the bridge in Frick Park.
Governor Wolf has officially announced that Pennsylvania will fulfill their promise to raise the minimum wage for state workers to $15 an hour. Following the initial minimum wage raise proposal in 2016 and an amendment in 2018, a final amendment was added to accelerate the timeline. With this change to the minimum wage, Governor Wolf hopes to raise the morale of Commonwealth employees while providing support for families and providing fair pay. He said, quote, "I am committed to supporting workers, creating family-sustaining jobs, and ensuring that, in Pennsylvania, hard work is rewarded fairly," end quote. Wolf also has called to his General Assembly to work on raising the minimum wage for all workers in the state. This raise is long overdue as it hasn't been raised above $7.25 in 13 years. All 6 of Pennsylvania's neighbor states have higher minimum wages, and Wolf intends on helping state employees become better aligned with current living costs.
Multiple artists, including Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, as well as others, have withdrawn their music from Spotify following the controversy with podcaster Joe Rogan. Neil Young told Spotify, quote, "You can have Rogan or you can have Young, not both," end quote. The source of this controversy was a recent episode of Rogan's podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, where he questioned whether or not young people need to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The band Belly couldn't withdraw due to contract issues, but they updated their Spotify banner to say, "Delete Spotify." The band put out a statement saying, quote, "It's the smallest gesture we could make, but when you have a lot of tools in your toolbox to conquer the giant, that you're going to do what you can," end quote. Along with artists leaving, the hashtag Delete Spotify has been trending. Spotify CEO Daniel Ek spoke about the controversy and announced that the site will be adding an advisory disclaimer to any podcast episode that discusses the pandemic. There is no update yet on the artists who decided to leave and whether or not they will return to the site or not. When we come back, we'll get an update of the weather from Ryan and Campus Sports with Ruby Mundock.
Good evening, everyone. I am student meteorologist Ryan Argenti here with your latest MU99 weather forecast issued for February 9th, 2022. And taking a look over Lancaster City, not too long ago, we see those baby blue skies, the sun sinking right over the horizon. It's going to be a very beautiful night for Lancaster tonight. And we were looking at temperatures hitting right around 48 to 50 degrees. We're sitting right around 45 degrees right now. Mostly sunny and pleasant conditions was pretty much the scoop for today's weather. So we were, I would say we were pretty spoiled for February for right now. It's a little mild for February right now. But as we head into tonight, the rest of the night tonight, 30 to 34 degrees. We are looking at some mostly cloudy conditions, and we are looking at an isolated shower or two, especially after midnight. We see a weak disturbance coming through the Commonwealth coming up here tonight, but I'll get into that in the model guidance in just a little bit coming up. Looking at Thursday, we are looking at 46 to 50 degrees for our highs. Again, that's pretty mild. We're looking at clouds and sun and also some breezy conditions as well as we go into Thursday during the day. Checking out Thursday night, 22 to 26 degrees. We plummet about 20 degrees from Thursday during the day, and we're looking at mainly clear conditions, and it's pretty seasonable for a February evening or February night. Checking out Friday. Friday, we're looking at 50 to 54 degrees. We're looking at some mostly sunny conditions and fairly mild. Once again, you don't usually see 50 to 54 degrees for a range of temperatures for February during the day. And checking out the radar right now, you can see just an area of precipitation just off to the west of Pennsylvania right now that will be moving into the lower Susquehanna Valley as we head into the latter parts of this evening, especially after midnight, like I was saying. And heading into the model guidance right here, you see that low pressure system just sitting over Wisconsin right now. It's a very weak system, very weak disturbance, so we won't be getting much from this system. So it'll just bring a couple isolated showers, and that's about it. This guidance says there's snow, but it's too warm for that. You see this low pressure up here right now, and that has a stronger cold front right behind it, or a stronger cold front connected to it right now, and that's stretching all the way down from here in the Great Lakes, and that's stretching all the way down to the southeastern United States. And right down here, this system is actually connected to that cold front, and that will be bringing us weather going into this weekend. And you'll see right here, model guidance shows that we are looking at some potential snow for this weekend. We don't really know the accumulation right now, but we'll keep you updated here on MU99. But we do see that low pressure just sitting off the East Coast, and that will be making its way off into the Atlantic. And we will be looking at some nicer conditions going into the latter parts, or the earlier parts rather, of next week. And checking out the 3-day outlook, we're looking at 50 degrees for Wednesday's highs, which was today, 32 degrees for tonight's lows, just around that range. Thursday, 48 degrees for a high, 24 for Thursday night's lows. We're looking at those breezy conditions like I was saying. 52 degrees for Friday's highs, and 38 degrees for Friday night's lows with some clouds and sun. And looking at the 7-day outlook here, looking at Saturday, 54 degrees for a high, 24 degrees for a low for Saturday. Looking at some clouds and sun as well. Looking at Sunday, 28 degrees and a low of 16 degrees with that system that was moving in, and that will be bringing in that snow that we will keep you updated on. And looking at Monday and Tuesday, pretty similar temperatures, upper 20s, lower 30s for Monday and Tuesday's highs, and sky conditions are looking very nice. So this weather has been brought to you by the Millersville University Campus Weather Service. Visit us at millersville.edu/weather center. And back to you, and back to Ruby now with the latest sports updates.
Ruby Mundock with the latest on-campus sports.
Men's basketball extended their record to 17-4 after a 74-59 win over Kutztown on Monday night. Caden Najdawi was named PSAC East Defensive Athlete of the Week and scored a game-high 17 points with 10 rebounds. Jaden Faulkner and Kyrie Williams both scored 12 points, each to help secure the win. This win extends the Marauders' winning streak to 8 in a row, the longest streak by Millersville since 2006. All 8 of the wins have been against PSAC opponents. Women's basketball has won 3 of the last 5 PSAC matchups following a win against East Stroudsburg with a final score of 49-43. Lauren Lister scored a game-high 13 points, and Christina Brown scored a season-high 9 points in 9 minutes. The Marauders will take on Shippensburg University Wednesday night, looking to extend their winning streak. The wrestling team lost duels on Saturday to Belmont Abbey and Mercyhurst. With these losses, the team's record has dropped to 4-5. The team will take on Pitt Johnstown this Friday, where they can hopefully bring a win back to the Ville. Millersville D2 Club Ice Hockey is having an impressive season with a 10-2-1 record and are ranked number 2 in the ACHA. Their senior night matchup is Saturday, February 5th against TCNJ. The team is coming off of a 2-win weekend after defeating Bryn Athens 7-6 in overtime. Jacob Burke had a hat trick plus the overtime game winner, and freshman Jack Bell had a total 93 saves between the 2 games to help the Marauders secure that win.
That's all we have for this week for Ville News. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for the newest local, state, and national headlines.